Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Ultra League. Let's run a different team here. And we're going to be featuring the Shadow Swampert paired with the Skeledirge and the Shadow Staraptor here. We have a kind of a neutral matchup here. This Samurai is going to be able to throw this Icy Wind that does debuff us. They are not eligible for a Hydro Cannon at this point, so it's not the most efficient movesets here, but it's a very interesting pick. We let that additional Icy Wind go through, and then we're just going to throw another Hydro Cannon here, looking to potentially get a shield. No shield from our opponent. We're going to farm up to another Hydro, and they're going to switch out. We know that they don't have Hydro Cannon, so this move here will not be that awesome, but it will be super effective. The Razor Shell does get us, into the 75% mark. And then they actually have the Armor Mewtwo in the back here. Armor Mewtwo in the back is going to be able to be very tanky. And so we're going to have to shield here, I believe, in order to potentially win this switch. They usually are running Side Strike and, Rock Slide or Dynamic Punch, depending on how they want to distribute their team. And unfortunately for us, we do have the Steelix in the back here, so we're going to go for a Disarming Voice Bait. See if we can get a shield somehow. No shield in that position right there, which is a little bit unfortunate. We do have a move on our Swampert, so we're going to throw this Swampert move, and then we're definitely going to get a shield at this point. We're going to switch out immediately into the Staraptor, and the idea here is to try to get to 2 close combats at this point. We do take the first Breaking Swipe. We don't get the debuff, so part 1 of the comeback has been successful. Another Breaking Swipe. We're going to shield here, but this time that Breaking Swipe does debuff us, so that is terrible. Looks like another third Breaking Swipe gets through, and looks like we do get to 1 close combat. I think we're 1 fast move away from a close combat here. We do get the shield, and unfortunately we do not survive an additional Dragon Tail right there. So GG's to our opponent. Unable to come back from that situation. Honestly, maybe we should have, done a couple things, gone for Earthquake versus that Samurai when we had the Swampert, etc. Next game here, we have the Swampert versus Swampert. Here, we're going to try to be tricky with it. We're going to throw on odd timing. We do get our opponent to, 25-30% mark. And then we're going to allow this next move to go through, okay? And then we're going to both CAP tie here. We do win the CAP. And we're going to see if our opponent ends up shielding. They let it go. And they actually have another water type in the back. So Poliwrath in the back here is going to get met with our Skeledirge here. Skeledirge does have great charge moves for this Poliwrath. We do get a shield from our opponent. Ends up probably being a Scold here. Yep, there's the Scold, but Scold right there does not KO. Plus, okay, they actually switch out. We were going to have to throw another move anyways. This Shadow Ball does go through for some chip damage, but you can see here, our Incinerates are actually chunking away. Incinerate did get a little bit of boost. It does look like it's doing way better damage. We are able to get to another Shadow Ball before they throw a move here. We're going to let this one go easily. And I think we're going to come in with our Swampert here to farm down. And then we're going to switch back out into this Staraptor. So this Staraptor is... it does have 2 shields to use. We're going to use the first one. We get Icy Wind. And then we're going to go for the double up. So our opponent ends up going for another Icy Wind right there. And at this point, we're going to try our best to get to 2 flies. We do get to 2 flies here. Do they already have a move? Because they're going to shield here. Go for the first fly. We do get a shield. And then we're going to fortunately get to another fly right there. This is going to KO for the win right here. So GG's to our opponent right there. What did they end up having? Poliwrath. And then they had... what else? Oh, Swampert as well. So, okay. Interesting team. Next game here. Let's see what we find. We're going to have the Shadow Swampert versus this Walrein here. Okay. And we're going to have to get some shields or do some big damage. So we're going to go for this Earthquake immediately. And let's see what they end up trying to do here. Do we get big damage or do you get a shield? We do get a shield, which is great. Our opponent ends up throwing a move here. We're going to let it go. Ends up being the Icicle Spear. We do survive it. And now we got to think about, do we get to another Earthquake before they get to another move? I think the answer is yes. So we're going to shield here, and we're going to get to another Earthquake, looking to do big damage or get the last shield. And our opponent ends up letting it go, okay? And then we're going to force out some energy at this point here. This Icicle Spear will take us out, but it's a potential chance for our Skeledirge here to farm down. We do get we do get 2 Incinerates in before a move, but this move does go through. Fortunately, it's only Icicle Spear, and that is not going to be able to take us out. So once again, another double water. We do have another Poliwrath in the back here. This time is a Shadow version. But because we got that energy advantage, we are able to get to 2 Disarming Voices before they get to their move. This is for sure going to get a shield here. And our opponent ends up throwing they shield here and then throw the Scald. Scald does take out the Skeledirge, and then we're going to have Talonflame versus the Staraptor here. So we're going to throw this Fly right before they get to their next move. We are always going to shield here, obviously. There's no point in not. And then we're going to look to farm down, possibly, and then looking to throw the Fly back at that Poliwrath. And then indeed, we do end up with the Fly, and we are able to get to this charge move to take out that Poliwrath. So juice to our opponent right there. Shadow Staraptor taking out the Poliwrath, farming down the Talonflame, and in fact tanking all that Incinerating damage too. So not too bad. Okay, next game we have the Skeledirge here versus the Swampert. Really good for us, expecting them to switch out. They switch out into the Greedent. So Greedent here obviously is their safe switch, and it only knows Body Slam and Crunch here. So we're going to have to stay in, and we're going to hope that we either win back this switch here, or we barely lose and we can farm down potentially with something, because we want this this Greedent here is going to be able to throw potential crunches at our Skeledirge, and then the Staraptor is always fragile, so we don't want to deal with that. We're going to invest a shield here so that we can get off another move. This Hydro Cannon will either get it low enough or potentially get a shield. And remember, we're trying to get this low enough. Okay, we do get the Greedent to KO, and they have a Pidgeot in the back. So shiny Pidgeot in the back paired with the Skeledirge, interesting. So double normal for their team right now. We're gonna go with this Skeledirge here because once again that Staraptor is pretty fragile. We're gonna tank this Brave Bird. Our opponent ends up going for the Brave Bird and not switching out, so we're going to farm up a little bit, throw this Disarming Voice. It does KO, and we are able to get to a Shadow Ball here. This is going to threaten another shield for big damage. We do get that last shield. That's exactly what we wanted. And here we go again. It's one shield Staraptor. Will it be enough to take out a Ultra League Skeledirge here? First Fly goes through. Doesn't quite KO. This is always going to be a shield here, forcing them to use double charge moves. One Disarming Voice goes through. They have 2 Disarming Voices here. Okay. This Disarming Voice does not KO a Shadow Staraptor somehow, and we are able to farm it down. So GG's to our opponent right there. Somehow, somewhere, we would have win that. That was kind of crazy. I was not quite expecting that Staraptor to survive a Disarming Voice. All right, next game, we have another Poliwrath. Poliwrath here, we're going to immediately switch out into the Skeledirge and see what they have. Expecting them to throw a Scald and dip, but we're going to be able to get to this Disarming Voice first, which is great. We get some good chip damage. Doesn't quite KO, obviously. And we're here. We're going to shield the Scald. We do avoid the debuff. We're going to throw our Shadow Ball right here. This Shadow Ball does some good neutral damage. We do get a shield from our opponent. And then we're gonna have to decide whether we want to shield here or not. We decided to let it go. Ends up being the Earthquake, so good for them. And then we're gonna come back in with our Swampert. This Swampert here is gonna be able to survive this Earthquake. We don't shield potentially. Okay, very good. And then we're gonna farm up right before they get to another move. We're gonna throw this Hydro Cannon here for potential KO or a shield. Okay, they decided to let it go. Ends up being the Venusaur in the back. So when you immediately switch out to the Staraptor, Staraptor is really good against their backline here. One shield Staraptor going to be able to get to this Fly first. We do get the Poliwrath to get taken out, and they know their fate right here because we're doing super effective. They're doing resisted damages all around. So GG's to our opponent. Check out this team if you haven't already. and let us know if you enjoy the video.